Welcome back to GearWire.com. We are taking a look at the VOX Valvetronix VT30. It's a 30-watt 1x10 combo that makes use of the VOX Valvetronix circuit architecture, which architecture in turn makes use of a 12AX7 preamp tube. That if you know a little about the Valvetronix software, you know that it's not just actually a preamp tube. They sort of split the tube into two, this is a little bit over my head, but they split the tube, a pentode tube, into two triodes, and they use half a watt for the preamp modeling and half a watt for power amp modeling. It's the same circuit that's found in the Valvetronix ToneLab LE, and it does add quite a bit of sort of tube feel to the dynamics of the modeled amps. The VT30 basically just takes a lot of the amp models and a lot of the effects found on the ToneLab LE and puts it into this nice little 30-watt combo that actually gets pretty loud and sounds pretty decent. Let's take a closer look at the top panel. So along the top panel here, we see we've got our amp and cab models. We've got gain, volume, treble, 3-band EQ, treble middle bass here, reverb, and master. If we click on manual mode, we can explore all of these little settings here. Let's bring our amp model to, let's see, this one's called UK 25th. Now we got a bunch of effects going on here. Let's just bypass those for now. This is the UK 25th. You can switch, there's two amp models per rotary position here. You switch by clicking this little thing, and now we're on the UK 80s. Let's crank the gain a little bit. Let's move over to UK 90s by clicking here. And let's go to something a little bit different. And this is called the Tweed 212. Let's crank the reverb on that a little bit. So some pretty nice amp models. Here's the AC30. It's got the gain cranked. Anyway, if you find some settings that you like, well, actually, let's go to the effects first. Let's bring the effects back in. We've got a whole selection of effects here: tape echo, delay, octave plus chorus, flanger, phaser, tremolo, a pitch shift. Let's listen just to the tape echo first. We got a little tap tempo here. Edit here is basically just affect one parameter here. In the delay modes, it affects the length of the tail. A lot of the effects are just ported directly from the ToneLab. I really like the octaver effect, especially when it's distorted. Let's put in a little, let's see, California metal. That sounds good. tracks pretty good, even on the bass notes. Well, a little floppy there. If you find a sound that you like, it's really easy to store it in the user memory. We've got 4 channels and a number of different banks, well, 2 different banks. So we select whatever bank we want to use, and then just hold down whatever channel, and once it blinks, you've got a stored preset. So we can go between back to the preset we just stored. And now there is, on the back of the amp, there's a little bit a rotary control that says power level. So you can basically adjust the relative wattage of the speaker output, so you can kind of get the same same body and same saturation that you would get if the amp was cranked at lower volumes. A nice little addition for recording or for bedroom practicing. And there's also a foot switch input. VOX makes a foot switch that you can use to sort of effortlessly change between these user preset banks to make it a pretty handy amp for playing live. And it certainly gets loud enough for live playing. It's 30 watts, so it can really crank with this little VOX 10-inch speaker. So that was our look at the VOX Valvetronix VT30, 30-watt amp with the Valvetronix amp modeling circuitry. There's also the VT15, which is a 15-watt version of the same amp, both pretty reasonably priced. You've been watching GearWire.com, and I'm Owen O'Malley. Thanks for checking us out.